One of the great things about being subscribed to fragrance channels and being involved in the community is that you get to hear about and discover a lot of things that you will never see in the mainstream. And so what I'm talking about here is you're not going to see any of these fragrances sitting on the shelves at Macy's, Sephora, Ulta, Dillard's, whatever, all of the retailers, all of the department stores. You're not going to see these there, okay? And that's where a lot of the bottles are moved. You know, a lot of people don't know about discounters. Talking guys out there, girls, whoever, who are wearing fragrances that aren't in the community, they're just going in and buying them at full retail. And even online, like those retailers online, they're not going to be carrying these either. And so these really do stand out, and these are some great hidden gems, some great secrets that only a few of you guys are going to be knowing about. So if you want to stand out and express yourself and smell different than everybody else, definitely stay tuned and check some of these out. And I guess now that I think about it, there might be one in here that you can find at retailers, so I apologize for that. One of them. Everything else, though, not so much. Let's just start off with a $30, $35 scent on discounters, of course. It's a very affordable one, and I really like it. Definitely a hidden gem. Hasn't gotten a ton of coverage, but does deserve it. CERRUTI 1881 Signature. This one's got leather, pepper, some amber, and it's great. The leather accord in here is impressive. It really is. Again, we're talking a $30 scent here, mid $30 range, and this leather is fantastic. It's not as strong as something like Tuscan leather or anything like that, but it does have more texture compared to something like ombre leather, so it kind of bridges the gap between those two. And of course, that's leaving quality aside and everything like that, but just describing the type of leather used here. Think of it as somewhere in the middle. Not too earthy or too strong, but it also isn't too soft either. And the way I've described this one is it almost has like a slight La Nuit de l'Homme kind of warm spiciness to it. So I've always said it's like a leathery La Nuit de l'Homme. It's a very loose descriptor. It's not something to, live by, I suppose, but not something to take too seriously. But that's kind of giving you the ballpark estimate of what this one could be somewhat similar to. Basically all about that leather and the spices with some warm spices as well. Great stuff, and at this price point you can't go wrong, and you're not going to be seeing this all over the place, and people definitely aren't going to be wearing it. Next up we have Le Male On Board. So you could go and get the original, right? Everybody knows the original. Even Ultra Male probably got pretty popular outside of the community as well. You could go get that one at all the retailers as well. So many of them, right? However, On Board was a release that just never really went as far. And so, you're not going to just be able to walk into the store and buy this one. And I think that's pretty cool, because that means you're basically limited to the gray market, discounter market side of things. And that's where you get this one usually. And it also means you can get it for a pretty good price as well, a reasonable $80. It's not bad. So what is this? Well, to me, it's a summertime version of Le Male. So it has some geranium, kind of a green smell, tonka bean, a lot of bergamot citrus and things like that. It kind of takes the place of Popeye or Superman, right? It doesn't smell like those necessarily, but it does fill that role of being a summertime version. And the name and bottle does allude to that as well. I really like it for what it's worth. I think it's one of their better releases. You just don't hear about it all that much. Next up, we have Mercedes-Benz Infinite Spicy. It's by Olivier Cresp. This is a pretty cool line that they did. So it's the Mercedes-Benz VIP Club line right there. And what they did was essentially, I guess, highlighted the perfumers more so because they put their name on the bottle and it's a part of the marketing. Again, Olivier Cresp did this one. They did it with a few other big perfumers as well. Alberto Marias was one of them. The thing about these is they're all discontinued. They were limited runs. However, this one has been consistently in stock on discounters now for a good while. Still is at the time of me shooting this, which means you can get it. And it's not like it's $100 either. It's like, I don't know, 47 or something. It's very reasonable given the rarity of it. It's a 100 ml eau de toilette bottle, and the name is definitely the best descriptor of this one that I could possibly think of. It is legitimately very spicy. So don't take that lightly. I mean, it is. It's got a a whole bunch of notes like Sichuan pepper, some black pepper, pink pepper, everything like that. All of the spicy notes, it has it. And some woods as well, some cedar wood, which kind of adds to that. That's what it has going on. There's some juniper berries in here as well, kind of giving it somewhat of an aromatic feel. This one, it has a very kind of premium, classy smell to it, much more mature than a lot of other things out there. And again, it's a collector's piece. It's pretty cool, but just beyond that, it smells great as well. Very well done on this one, and no one else is going to be touching this stuff. Next up, we have Hugo Boss, the scent Magnetic. Last year's release, hitting discounters now. It's got vanilla, has bran, and of course, the signature Maninka fruit accord. That's the only notes they give us, but it's, really holds up. The Maninka fruit, no surprise, you pick up on it quite a bit. It's sweet, it's a little bit fruity, of course. Very unique note, definitely stands out. I've always kind of described it as being like something like violet leaf. Not in terms of them smelling similar, they're wildly different, but in terms of like when violet leaf is used in something, you pick up on it every single time. It's that distinct. That's how Maninka fruit is. The vanilla giving it a nice creamy sweetness, and then the bran, it's an interesting one. Kind of gives it this weedy, different type of texture, which sounds weird, but it works really well. Definitely unique, and you could tell that they were really trying with this one. They're still maintaining this DNA, so it is familiar, but they're giving it a nice little spin as well. This is the type of thing that's not just going to make it to the mainstream. Guys out there are not going to be buying this one up. It just doesn't really have that type of edge, which is good for us because we can rock this one and smell super unique, and that's pretty cool. Okay, this next one, I guess, is the only one that you can really get everywhere. I misspoke there a little bit in the beginning. It holds true for pretty much everything else, but it's a newer release. It's from Givenchy. It's Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé. So yeah, you can get it at retailers. I'm sure they have this one on the shelves, right? However, I guess I will say that it probably isn't going to have the wild success as some of the others. I don't see that happening. They're introducing a lot of whiskey and chestnut with that iris. They're making it even more sweet, more gourmand, boozy. I'm not saying that's not a mass-pleasing scent. It is. You can wear this and pull compliments. But in terms of the buyer's market, the other dudes out there that aren't in the community, I don't think it's going to get sold as much in that side of things. So you could still pull this one off and smell unique and get great compliments. It just isn't going to be to the level of some other stuff, which is good. And I definitely think this is a little bit more enthusiast-focused. I think this is something that's going to be more unique and more fascinating to a lot of us who have smelled hundreds and hundreds and thousands of things at this point. And for me, by far, it is my absolute favorite flanker within this line. I adore this stuff. I cannot wait to wear it all the time this winter. It is that good. Highly recommended. Next up, from RASASI, we have HAWAS. So you guys may know Invictus Aqua, right? Well, that was all over the place at one point. The 2016, the 2018, it was on shelves, it was on retailers. I'm sure it was in rack stores, maybe not, I don't know actually. But it was all over the place, It was popular, even outside of the community. The 2016 especially really took off, and for good reason. This DNA is great, right? Those are both a thing of the past. Discontinued, just can't get them anymore all that often. This is one that you can still get, and when it's in stock, it's anywhere in the $40 range. Low is like $42 or $43. The upper end is $47, $48. Within that range, about $10, give or take, is a good kind of thing to remember. If you're paying much more than that, I wouldn't do it. So there you go. And if you're paying much less than that, like $20, it's probably fake or just a scam. So make sure you watch out. And yes, I don't know if they're actually making fakes of these, but a scam very well could be possible there. Anyway, this one is that Invictus Aqua DNA. It's got a lot of plum, a lot of ambroxan, watery notes, bergamot, apple, fantastic, fruity, sweet, aquatic, and blue. I absolutely love this stuff. I wear it all the time in the summer. Same with Invictus Aqua. I rotate between them just because I have a ton of Invictus Aqua, but there are times where I do crave that plum fruitiness of this one that the others do not have. In fact, none of the other Invictus Aqua smelling things on the market have that plum, apple, fruity thing going on. So this one really stands out in a lot of ways. Great performance, very affordable. And that goes without saying, it's a RASASI, a clone brand. This is not going to be on shelves or at retailers or anything. Strictly discount websites is where you're going to find this one. Last up for this one, Carolina Herrera Mystery Tobacco. This is from the Confidential line. Confidential line? Yeah, Confidential line. I don't know what I was adding some extra syllables to that, I guess. But besides tobacco, of course, it has some patchouli, some tonka bean, some gaiac wood. Smells beautiful. Has a little bit of Carlisle, has a little bit of red tobacco, has a little bit of Herod, has a little bit of its own thing going on from the gaiac wood and patchouli mixture. That is used in Carlisle, I suppose, but the way the tobacco is coming across here with everything else, it just kind of adds its own flair to separate it a little bit from those other ones. In terms of pricing, you know, it just depends. It's going to be in line with the PDMs, I suppose. Red tobacco will be cheaper, but red tobacco is stronger in terms of its type of tobacco used. This one's actually a little bit more smooth, a little bit more silky and sweet, creamy. Kind of breaks down the harsh edges of something like red tobacco. And I didn't mean to say strong as a describing word for performance. This one is just as strong as the red tobaccos and the PDM Carlisles and things. It really can hang with those, and those are some premium top-level performers. It's an eau de parfum, but it gets the job done great. So are the others. They're eau de parfums as well. Nice presentation, magnetic cap, and it's a true beauty of a tobacco scent. If you're after one that's a little bit different, kind of combining the best of both worlds there, or best of several from a few different fragrance brands, instead of buying all of them, you could kind of go all for one here. It's great. I love it. Great, great stuff. Alrighty, guys, there you have it. Those are some hidden gem, kind of best kept secrets of the fragrance community. I will link them down below. And again, that's going to do it for me. If you want to get any rare, hard to find scents, you want to be notified of when those come in, Blue Electric, Luminous Night, Dior Homme Parfum, things like that. Get on my mailing list at the first link down below and my texting list at the number down below as well. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.